Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Awesome. I love
Morning.
it. We have sound. We have
Good
full
morning.
faces.
Morning.
Happy Friday.
Good
Happy
morning.
Friday. Y'all, how is it the end of February? Oh, Funk is on here. Good morning, Funk. Funk is sick. So Funk, we are not going to be seeing the Funk. In, no Funk here today. Okay, we're going to get off
I'm
and running
here.
as we're letting people come in. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Friday. As you know, we always start with wins and gratitude. We've got a jam-packed session today. I'm super excited for y'all to meet Austin. But before we get started there, who wants to share some wins? Who wants to share some gratitude with everybody this morning?
I have some wins.
John, bring it.
Hey, so we've had a new construction that we built uh, 4 years ago that we finally got under contract this morning. So I was excited by that. It's down in the area around Georgia State, and their stadium there. So it's really a great house too. It's a Charleston type home that we built, and then we have a new listing that went on, and we've had like 30 people through there in 2 days. So, and we've already got an offer on it, and then we've also got another property that we've had for quite a while that was a kind of a squirrely deal, but it's under contract too. So we're very excited.
That is amazing. Spring has sprung for John.
Mm.
Awesome. Awesome. Awesome.
We've
Congratulations.
got
Who
some
else?
wins over here, right?
Awesome. Let's
Who
hear.
Michael's got a win. Michael's got a contract.
I had a closing Tuesday, contract Wednesday, and double-ended closing on Monday.
Nice.
Dawn's got a contract.
Contract. That it.
Rosa's got a new contract that's since last week, and Mike Vane's got an offer out too.
Yeah, yeah.
So rocking and rolling.
Watch out, Orlando. Way to
Yeah, how
go,
about
guys.
that?
Love this. Congrats. Who else? Oh, Jacqueline.
Good morning. Mine is just a gratefulness. We had a couple of impromptu dinners with our friends with EXP this week. Also a happy hour, and we just shared such cool stuff. I got like new ideas for closing gifts that were just amazing. And we were like literally handing our phones around the table at different people's ideas, which was so awesome. And we did a little. We thought we were going to have Megan, but somehow she didn't make it. She had better plans than us. But I'm just really grateful for the community and that I'm not only doing real estate, but making these incredible friendships and relationships that makes doing real estate so much better. Thank you, Elizabeth.
I love that. And your video the other day you posted was awesome.
Oh, thank you. And thanks, Megan, for that one too. She
Yeah,
brought
Megan,
the
Megan's videographer guy did some pretty awesome, cool things. So nice work.
thanks.
Hi, Master.
How you doing, Elizabeth?
Good. Good morning.
Good morning, morning. Grateful to see you.
Thank you, sir. Grateful to see you.
So my win is I put together a multi-state proposal through AI. Although I asked Ben last week how he did it, I already had it done. So I just pretty much looked at it and then sent it to a potential client that I'm going to be working with, acquiring properties in multi-states. So I'm definitely going to need maybe some of you on this platform when he's ready to actually move forward to make purchases in different states. So I will be coordinating with different agents who have those expertise for what he's looking to acquire. So that's my win.
Huge. The power of EXP. That's a great win. Great, great win. Brian Copeland, last one.
For those of you that were on Renee Rodriguez's call yesterday, it was freaking awesome. And he's always just so inspiring. Elizabeth, you and I talked yesterday about getting a group together, anybody that bought his course, to do an accountability 30-day accountability group. So if anybody wants to join or whatever, I think we should get that started next week.
Love it. Yeah, reach out to Brian or myself if you guys are doing the 30-day challenge and we'll coordinate. Good call, Brian.
Brian, real quick, are we able to watch that? Was it taped or is it somewhere? Because I'd signed up for it.
I think we'll be able to get the recording, is what it
Okay.
sounded like. Yeah.
Yeah, that had nothing to do with me, so we can check with him. No problem. Awesome. Okay. I'm excited about today. So take you back to COVID days, right? When the world started opening up a little bit. One of the very first events that was put on it was called Sprint at the time. And I remember walking into this Dallas room. Everybody was a little bit weird because COVID, and we were in this very small group of maybe 50 people. I don't know, Austin. Maybe that's a lot.
It was 50
It
actually.
was it 50?
Yep.
And around the table at every seat were individual Nike shoes, different sizes, different colors, all the things. And we were instructed to go sit down and at our seat pick up it was a one individual Nike shoe. And we picked up the shoe and then we were instructed, go find your match, meaning who has the same color, who has the same size, who has the same matching shoe. And Austin was my match. And what's funny about that is I didn't know Austin. He didn't know me. We knew each other's names. And what we had to do in that moment was be accountability partners. And you guys will understand why, after you get to know Austin, why that is such a huge deal, because Austin is just, he pours in, he's on fire, he's so relatable, accountable, and he's just a master at what he does. And from that shoe pairing came a very, very dear friend of mine that I hold close to my heart. Austin's out of Indiana. He is an incredible coach. He is an incredible leader. He's an author. He had one of the top teams, but he just has a heart for people. And so you guys are in for a huge, huge, huge treat for today and next week. He's doing a two-part for all of us. And so Austin, I am so glad our shoes matched. I'm glad you are in my world, and thank you for being here today with all of us. Welcome to Friday Huddle.
Thank you. You see this, everybody? This was it right here. So I told my assistant, I said, hey, I need another pair of red Nike shoes. And she's like, why? I go, I need to send one. She goes, what are you going to do with the other one? I said, well, I'm going to keep it. And she goes, well, those are really expensive just to send. I go, it's not about the money. It's about the feelings that these bring and what this means. So we upgraded our studio today with that shoe. So the simple little things, everybody, this is all where it started. Can you believe this one shoe right here? So, okay, thank you, my friend, for allowing me to come in here. And I want to say this is going to be a two-part series. So we're going to have today, and then we're going to have next week. And I'm going to pour into you the best of what I know over the next 2 days, or I'm sorry, the next two sessions here. So I highly, highly recommend that you show up for next week. And when Elizabeth said, hey, I want to be more intentional with my people this year, I want to pour into them with more focus, I said, hey, I think I can help. And I thought, if I had 2 hours with you, what message would I want to share? And in these two messages, it's going to be really simple. I'm going to help you understand how to make money. Okay, that's going to be today. How to make money. What does that actually look like? And then next week, I'm going to teach you how to keep the money that you make. Okay? Sounds really simple, right? How to make the money, and then how to keep the money we make. And today I'm going to talk about 5 things with you. First, I want to ask, I think I'm going to ask one thing from everybody today. Just one thing. Is that fair if I ask one thing? James, is that fair if I ask one thing, James? James says I can. James has been with me for a lot of hours.
Yes.
One thing,
Yes.
that a boy, James. James would make it mandatory. I'm just going to ask you politely. If you could do me one favor and turn your cameras on. And here's why I ask. Ammon, can you shut me off? Thank you. So imagine if I trained you like this for an hour. How would you feel? Right? How would you feel? Well, it's kind of the same way I feel when you don't have your cameras on, Ammon. You turn me back on. So the one thing I want to ask is if you can turn your cameras on, I'd appreciate that. I see you. I thrive off your energy. I watch your faces. And just really, I just want to know who you are. I can see you. And I want to know who you are. So me to you, I know you engage more and you get more when your camera's on, because when my camera's off, it's off for a reason normally. Right? So thank you everybody. Today we're going to go over 5 things. We're going to talk about vision. Vision. We're going to talk about numbers. Number 2. Number 3, we're going to talk about time blocking. 4 is who to call, and 5 is what to say. Remember, we're talking about lead generation today, but I'm going to talk to you and teach you in probably a little different way than you've been taught before. Okay, so 1, vision, 2, numbers, 3, time blocking, 4, who's to call, and 5 is what to say when you call them. Elizabeth asked me, she goes, are you going to have Q&A when you're done? And I'm like, I always would love to have Q&A, but I'm notorious for filling every second in my meetings when I train. So just a heads up, if you have questions, throw them in the chat. If I can see them, I'll answer them along the way. But I'm going to pour into you guys for 2 straight hours here. So let's start with vision. Okay? Show me in the chat, without a vision, people what? What's the word? Without a vision, people... And I know it's early for some of you guys and gals, but let's get moving, right? Yeah, without a vision, people float. Vain. What's up, Mike? Without a vision, people float. Maybe in Disney on the boats they do, but not where I'm at. People struggle. People flounder. People fail. People give up. Without a vision, people perish. That's without a vision, people perish. And when I ask myself, like, I don't want to perish and I don't want you guys to perish. So it always starts with the vision. It's funny, when Brian Ellington asked me to come in and train FastCap, he gives me 1,000 agents and he says, here's the material, go train them. My first comment I had back to him when I studied all the material is, we got to help them come up with their vision. Because if you don't know why you're doing it for you, the work's too hard. You'll find an excuse, something always will comes up. But when you get your vision and you write it down and you make it clear, he who reads it can run with it. James, remember this? Yeah, buddy, put it in front of your chest, James. James still has his. This is how we start FastCap, is we help people establish their vision. Why are you doing that? Oh, we got more of these. This just gives me chills. Elizabeth, this is why I do it right here. They still got their papers from a year ago. Look at that. Without a vision, people perish. So shoot, let's do it. Let's spend 30, 60 seconds right now. Let's get a piece of paper, get something to write with. As you see, I have mine here. Let's just write a word, one word, please. What is your vision? What is something that can pull you through the mud when it gets tough? What is that vision? One word, write it on a piece of paper. It's yours. You don't have to share it. But you need it to help you get through the tough times. That's your accountability partner. What is your vision? Now, what I want to do, I want to tell you a little bit about me here. And what I want to do is, as I tell you about me, when I'm done, I'm going to ask you, what is my vision? Okay, first off, wave your hands if you've trained with me before. How many people have trained here with me? Wave your hands at me. Okay, we got about 25% maybe. Okay, welcome to Austin's world, everybody. This is great. Okay, I'm going to tell you my story. Your goal is to find my vision within the story. Once I'm done, I'm going to ask you, what was my vision? I want to see it in the chat. Okay, so when I was 6 years old, and I'm going to tell you the story fast. When I was 6 years old, my dad got his real estate license. Bless me, right? So for 35 years of my life, I've been surrounded by real estate agents. That's approximately 85% or 100% of what I can remember of my life, because I don't remember much before I was 6. So 100% of what I can remember, I was surrounded by each and every one of you. And I've watched you, I've studied you. Make it better than that, when I was 12, my dad was the manager of the largest Coldwell Banker office in the nation. So when I was 12, we were walking around the hallway. My dad would say, you see Elizabeth? She shows up early. She's going to make it. You see Bobby? I haven't seen Bobby in 3 months. He's probably not going to make it. You see that seat right there, son? That seat's worth $22,000 a year to our company. 22, 44, 66, 88. That was me when I was 12. I've literally grown up in this. I was made to teach you guys what I know. At the age of 17, I had an unfortunate accident. My mother died in a plane crash. Went up 500 feet, stalled, came down, killed both my mother and her fiance. We all have a story. We all have tragedies in our lives. That was mine at 17. I was forced to grow up. Okay? At 22, I got my real estate license. I should say at 22, I sold my first house. At 20, I got my real estate license. It took me 2 years to sell one house. Does that sound familiar for anybody? Yeah, get into fast cap if that's you. At 22, I sold my first house. And what was amazing, it took me 5 years of selling real estate. Hone in with me here. It took me 5 years of selling real estate to put myself on welfare. Yes, you heard that right. Real estate allowed me to sit in this industry, sit here stagnant. And it took 5 years before I got hit on the backside of my head with something called welfare. And welfare happened when I had my second child too, not my first child. I'm like, man, this is interesting. So I'm married, I have my second child, and I qualify for welfare. And I remember my wife saying, what the heck did you do? Like, how did we get here? And I'm like, I don't know. But I said, I'm going to take it. It's going to be the last thing I take, and I'm going to get us moving. And I made myself a promise. I said, when this little boy, who's 1 day old, when he graduates high school, I'm going to be free of time, I'm going to be free of money, and I'm going to be free of location. Free of time, free of money, free of location. He's 1 day old. And I got to work within 4 years of telling myself that. Within 4 years, I became one of the top agents in the state of Indiana. I closed 88 homes in my top year, working solely by referrals, how I build all of my businesses. I pour into people, and I just say, who else do you know that I can help? Every business I've ever done, that's how I done it. And so it was really funny. The company I was at said, dang, I watched you go from number 100 at our company. You were the worst real estate agent. You were Tommy's boy who had no hope, no dreams, no nothing. And now you're the number one agent at my company. How the hell did you do this? And then they said, can you train every agent at my company how you did that? And so at the age of 33 years old, I took on my first clients. I trained 100 agents every week on how I did it. And some of you have gone through the program. That program's called the Agent Success Program, of how I built my life and my business. Well, growing in life and growing in business, what happened is I hit the ceiling at my company. And I happened at the time to be coaching the number one agent in all of Canada for EXP, number 3 agent overall for the entire company. And she happened to say, hey, maybe you should look at a different company. Never thought about that. I was the number one agent. I had the number one team. I was coach and trainer of 100 agents there. And so I opened up my eyes and I said, okay, this is my goals. This is what I'm trying to achieve. Does this help me? And I said, hell yes. I left, I jumped, and I never looked back. The first year over at EXP named me Instructor of the Year for my Agent Success Program. The third year at EXP, I grew a top 10 team here. Some of you guys know that. Some of you guys did deals with my team. What was really unique, within 3 years, hear me clearly here, within 3 years of starting my team, I had a top 10, I had the number 6 team at EXP. What was really interesting when I did the stats for all the top 10 teams, I had 25 agents, the average team had 100. Think of that for a second. I had a fourth of the agents and I was competing with the best of the best. And what's even better than that, I got a call from the number one team and they said, hey, how are you doing what you're doing? I think you only have 25 agents. I go, I do have 25 agents. They're like, you're 3 deals behind us. We have 300 agents. And I said, actually, I think it's worse than that. And they're like, what do you mean worse than that? I said, do you buy leads? They're like, oh yeah. I go, we don't do that. They're like, what the hell are you doing? And I said, I just teach my agents how to be good human beings, how to establish a vision, and how to go get it. Everyone listen to me here. I teach them how to be good human beings, which is tough sometimes, especially in real estate, how to be a good human being, how to establish a vision, and how to go get it. Well, my vision then took me to a place where I shut down my team after year 4. I remember Leo calls me up. He goes, dude, you don't need to shut down your team. You don't even do anything. And I said, I'm done. I figured it out. I did what I needed to do. Now it's time to move on. And after shutting down my team, I decided to take my energy and efforts, Elizabeth talked about it, to more of a legacy play. And I shut down my team. I gave myself back some space. And it was time to document what I did right and get it out there to the world. So last year, we wrote our first book called The Money Puzzle. And today, all I do is essentially manage my assets. And I do this with people all over the world. I coach and train them on how to establish their vision, how to pursue it, how to understand the problems along the way. And why do I do that? I'm pretty sure it's because I spent 35 years of my life watching great individuals, real estate agents, who had every chance in the world to get to their end dreams, but for some reason we fell short. Over and over and over, we kept falling short. And I just said, that's not going to be me. I said, I'm going to figure it out. And I figured it out. And now it's time to give back and help you guys figure it out. So my question to you, show me in the chat, what is my vision? What is my vision? Okay, we got impact. I showed you the paper. There's one piece. Oh, Mr. Vane's hinting on it. There's one piece. My vision was when I had my second child. I want to be free of time, I want to be free of money, and I want to be free of location. Free of time, free of money, and free of location. That vision has driven every decision I've ever made since that day. I have my North Star. When you say, hey, Austin, I want you to do this, if it doesn't align, if it takes me this way and not this way, the answer is just no. Sorry. The answer, I'm going this way. That's why we start with vision, everybody. Once you get that vision clear and you know what it is, now you just process every decision that comes in your life and it either helps you or it doesn't. Okay? Now that you got your vision or you got a start of it, let's talk about how I train these agents on their lead generation. So when you build one of the top 10 teams, probably actually one of the top teams in the country that works in their sphere, it's not a public stat, but we had the #1 team production per agent at EXP without buying them leads. It almost sounds impossible, right? Production per agent, the #1 team without buying leads. How is that possible? Vision, one. Next, right here. What we worked on is really simple. We worked on voice-to-voice or face-to-face business conversations. Voice-to-voice, face-to-face business conversations. That's where this starts. If you're not doing this and you don't know the purpose of this, we're lost already. Remember, without a vision, people perish. In your lead generation, this is where we start. This is, they say, it's a contact sport. Voice to voice, face to face, business conversations. Not just, hi, mom, how you doing? Great to catch up. Love you. Goodbye. Boom. And I think that that's work. No, we got to have a purpose of our conversation for our business. Next, income goal. Do you have an income goal this year? I hope so. Do you have an income goal this year? If not, today's the day we find it. And if you're not sure, we can guess. It's okay. We got to get something in place that we're shooting for. Okay, show me in the chat if you're comfortable sharing. What is your income goal this year? There's no wrong answers here. What is your income goal? Let's see. Capping? Well, what's that number? Is that River? What is that income goal? Show me the number. Somebody said 10.9 million in sales volume. Robert, I'll refer you one $10.9 million deal. You can sell one of my properties, but I'm going to pay you zero. Did that achieve your goal? Nope, it didn't. You're like, dang, I guess my goal is not 10.9. It's actually a dollar amount, isn't it? Because I'll refer you $10.9 million to sell for me if you do it for free. Ah, see, that doesn't align with your vision. Okay. What's up, Bill? Love my Ohio people, my neighbors right next door. So we got to have an income goal. And here's why this becomes a math problem. See, a lot of times when it's up in our head, they say when it's in your head, it's dead. I got to see it in writing. I got to understand it. I got to break down this complex thing of how I'm going to make my money and turn it into one simple thing that just says, Marissa, if you do this every day, you'll achieve your goal. If you do this every day, you'll achieve your goal. So for math reasons, I'm going to write here. I like green. How did I get to that color? I'm going to write here $100,000 for easy math. Everybody's first big number they're trying to make is 100. If yours is 600, then put 600 here. But we have to start with an income goal. Next, this is an interesting one here. Control. How much control do you want to have over that income? I would bet no one's ever asked you that question. How much control over the 100,000 do you want to have? And this one's a little deeper of, okay, well, what does control mean? How am I in control of it? But here's what I learned. COVID taught us something very special, that when we think we're in control, something happens and we're not. And some of my friends who did open houses for a living realized that they weren't in control, that something can come and take it away. That people that lived in 2016, I made $72,000 off of sign calls. In 2017, I made $16,000. If I didn't have my financials right, that's enough to make me go broke. So control is a matter of like, how much of my energy and effort can I determine without cause from other places that I can make happen on a daily piece? Okay, a great example, up in Michigan, they moved from having normal Zillow leads to only going to Zillow Flex. And I work with all the agents now who are on normal Zillow leads, and they're all freaking out. They're like, I just lost half of my business. And I said, it's because you're not in control of your business. You want to be in control. If the wind blows and you're not in control, your family's bankrupt. You're getting a job. That's not real estate. And you don't want that. That's why you're here. So the question is how much in control do you want to be? My recommendation is 80%. Some people sometimes put 100, but 100%, you don't have to be 100% in control of your business, because if I'm walking in the grocery store and I'm like, okay, and I see my high school teacher, I'm like, hey, you remember me? You thought I'd never make it. Look, I'm doing something now. They're like, you're crushing it. I'm like, yeah, I'm selling real estate. They're like, I see you all over the place. I'm like, I know. They're like, I actually was thinking about you. My mother's looking to sell her house. And I'm like, hell yeah. That's why I'm at the grocery store today, right? That's not being in control. That's just letting fate happen, right? And that's okay. That's just letting fate happen. So me to you, I like to be 80% in control of my income. It makes me feel good. It gives me some control, but it also, I know that I get rewarded for my activity that I do. Activity breeds activity. So after control, we're moving to the next piece here. Oh, buddy, average commission check for 2025. Show me in the chat if you know your average commission check for 2025. If I was in charge of you, each and every one of you would know this number. It's part of your math problem. What is your average commission check? Average in 2025. And if you don't know, it's okay. Just, I don't know it, Austin. And that's why you're here. You're here to learn. You're here to grow. You're here to take control of your life and your business. And if you don't know your average commission check, the good news is you just go back. If you made 100,000 and you had 10 commission checks, then your average check was 10,000. You need to know that for your formula. In this scenario, because I'm from Indiana and we have the lowest priced properties in all of America, which is really good when you go to buy your house to live in, and it's really bad when you sell houses for a living. Someone once came up to me, they said, Austin, why did you sell 88 homes in a year? I said, because I had to get off of welfare. And sell an average price of 114,000, you got to sell some homes to make some money. Average commission check. I'm going to use 8,000 here. Yours might be 10. It could be 20, could be 5. I don't know. But you need to know your number. Everybody in here is a business owner. Everybody in here is a business owner. It's time to start acting like one, right? You're not an employee, you're an owner. And we got to act like an owner. And if we don't act like an owner, the chances of us getting to that vision go way, way, way down. 35 years of my life, I've watched this. It doesn't matter how much you make either. You got to act like a business owner. You got to take care of your stuff. You got to know your numbers. People say, oh, Austin, I'm not good with numbers. Good. Well, you're in business, so now it's time to figure it out. Like that excuse won't work for you your whole life. So if you're not good with numbers, great. Guess what, everybody? I'm not good with letters, and I wrote a whole book. And I'm not, my family laughs at me. I can't spell stuff right. But I still did it because I have a vision of what I want. So if you're not good with numbers, it's okay. We still got to know them. You're in business. Average commission check 2025. Next. Oh, look at this one. This is one of my favorite ones, actually, out of this whole thing. It's conversation to referral ratio. So how many conversations, Austin, do I need to have until I receive one referral? How many conversations face-to-face? Let me go back. How many voice-to-voice, face-to-face business conversations do I need to have before I should expect one referral? That's what this ratio is about. Now, could I call Elizabeth Riley up and say, hey, Elizabeth, I'm looking for someone to that I could sell their house? And she's like, well, I'm going to sell my house. And I'm like, boom, that's a 1-to-1 ratio. Can that happen? Absolutely. But what we're looking for is the law of large numbers, which says if I take 1,000 calls, how many times on average in those calls do I get a referral? So show me in the chat, what do you think your ratio would be? If you just had to guess, and there's no right or wrong number. And whatever number you tell me, I'm going to share with you why it could be higher or lower. What is your conversation, you think, to referral ratio for the start of this year, for last year? What do you think it is? 20s. Mike says 100. 20-4, so that would be a 5-to-1, 100. Not good in that arena. All good. It's time to get good, though, right? Time to get good. Yeah, Jacqueline's like, that's why I'm here. It's time to get good. Yeah, I was not good. I was on welfare. I wasn't good in a lot of arenas. That's okay. That's the past, though. The future, Austin's got to get good at some things if he wants to achieve his vision. Okay, so you guys put different ranges in the chat. Let me share this with you. If I'm mining Facebook leads, do you think my number is going to be higher or lower than if I'm calling my grandma and having a conversation with her? Let me give you a live example. Hi, Grandma, it's Austin. Hey, how are you doing? Love it. Hey, do you need any help around the house? Is there anything I can help with? No. Hey, when you were at Bridge Club last week, and I know you go there every week and you talk to all your friends, did any of them say that they were looking to downsize from their McMansion that they lived in for 20 years that maybe I could sell? Oh my God, yes, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Now let me show you another example. Hi, this is Austin. I'm calling you on that Facebook lead. Click. Okay, where I'm going with this is I think we all agree that if we call people like our grandmother or somebody who knows us, likes us, or trusts us, compared to calling someone who doesn't know us, doesn't trust us, this number could be completely different, correct? Right? It's going to be completely different. If I call up Mike Vaines in the world, me and Mike have a good relationship. If I call Mike and I ask Mike for something, my chances of getting whatever I'm looking for are going to be a lot higher than if I call a Maria McGee who has no clue who I am. I need you to think smarter in your business. This is how we do it. On average, I see on average our clients are normally about a 20-to-1 ratio. I can tell you in my business, I got it down to about a 12-to-1 ratio because the better people I call, the lower this ratio is. Now, let me tell you what you really want to hear. The better your ratios are, the less work you have to do to earn your $100,000. Isn't that what you want to know? Isn't that truly what you want to know? Austin, I want to make 100,000, but I don't want to do it in 100 hours a week. Well, what if we could do it in 20 hours a week? Well, how would you do that? It depends on who you call. Right? Depends on who you call. Let's be more intentional with the work that we're doing. Next ratio, ratio number 2. Okay, Austin, I made 20 phone calls and I got one referral. Now my next question is, well, how many of these referrals do I got to get before I get one closing? This is very important for your business. How many of these referrals do I got to get till I get this one closing? Remember, my closing equals $8,000. It's a numbers game. And what I've learned that on average, we're looking at about 3 referrals to 1 closing. 3 referrals to 1 closing is our average. Now, could it be 4? Absolutely. Could it be 2? Absolutely. But normally, here's what happens. I get 3 referrals. One of them's ready to buy, one of them doesn't call me back, and one buys next year, right? One of them buys this year, one doesn't call me back, or they say, hey, I'm working with Mike. Okay, cool, I'm not gonna step on Mike's stuff. And then one buys next year. So this year, I got 3 referrals and only one of them made it to the closing table. And let me tell you something that's backwards right here. The better you get at hunting for referrals, the worse this ratio gets. The worse it gets. Somebody say, well, the worse it gets. Why would it get worse? Because I am finding referrals way earlier in the process now. If somebody even hints that they're looking to sell their house, grandma calls me up, hey, Austin, I was at Bridge Club. Somebody said they might sell their house in 2029. Here you go. When you train your clients on how you work by referral and what that means, you actually get way more referrals than you can process to get to the closing table. And that's okay. Those are great leads. Okay? Master, what's up? Quality of conversations. This is great. This is great, Master. And what would even be better is if you do it. That would be awesome. I'm here for you, buddy.
I will.
Yeah, buddy. Let's go. Let's go. That's why I'm here. I'm pouring into you guys. How do you build one of the top teams in the country? Right here. How do you build your life from going from welfare to being one of the top agents in the state? Right here. This is how we do it. Next question that no one's ever asked you or you've asked yourself. Look at this. 2026 proactive working days. Hold that for 1 second. Hold that. Do you have any idea how many proactive working days you're going to have this year? Is your answer all of them? Yeah, now we're getting somewhere. Oh, buddy. See, if you weren't so sure before, now you'll love me after this. See, being around real estate agents for 35 years, here's what I want to tell you. You're all burned out. You guys are so burned out. You got nothing left in the tank. Man, you're trying your hardest. My buddy from Chicago in 2017 comes up to me in a conference and he goes, Austin, I need your help. I go, what's that, man? He goes, I'm selling like 30 homes a year and my goal's 60 and I just can't get past 30. He goes, I'm doing everything I can. He goes, what do I do? I said, I think you're doing too much. He goes, no, you're not understanding. He goes, I need to do more. And I said, well, I think to do more, you need to do less. He's like, how does that make sense? And I said, well, let me give you an example. I'm watching you run around the track. The Olympics, let's say. The Olympics are on. I'm watching you run around the track and you're going like 3 miles an hour. He goes, no, I'm not. I'm going as fast as I can. I go, because you're burned out. You're going 3 miles an hour. What if you took a break? What if you took a rest and you said, hey, this week I'm not going to run, and you rest yourself and you hydrated and you worked on your vision and you worked on your plan. And then when you went out to run, you'd run 12 miles an hour compared to 3. And if you ran 12 miles an hour, 4 days a week, 3 weeks a month, you might get further than if you ran every day. Oh, that doesn't make sense, Austin. Well, let me tell you, I figured out how to make it make sense. Ammon, let's show them the calendar here. So every year I come up with something called the Run Rest Calendar. It's how I ran my team. It's how I ran myself. It's how I run all my coaching clients. And the best thing I like about this is it outproduces everybody in sales, but it also is the best for your health and the best for your life. Remember, I win twice, period. I win in my life and I win in my business. Not one at the cost of the other. Most real estate agents try to win at business and they sacrifice their life along the way. Not me. I've seen it my whole life. I ain't doing it. Not me. Not going to happen. So I made this up. A lot of this stuff I just made up. And at first I made it up and I tried it with myself and then it worked. I'm like, holy crap, this stuff works. And then the whole world started asking for it. So then I had to document it. Here's what it is. Every month, minus 3 months a year. January, June, and July are 4-week run cycles. The rest of the months are 3 weeks on, 1 week off. 3 weeks on, 1 week off. 3 weeks on, 1 week off. Mr. Mike Vane, let me hear from you, buddy. I appreciate you. Mike Vane, I'm going to ask you a question right now. If I could hire you 1 day a year to work for me, 1 day, and I wanted the best return out of my money that I paid you, what day would I hire you?
You'd probably hire me on Monday.
Maybe. Now that's a 1 out of 7 answer. Okay, so not a bad way. And it might be a Monday, but you know the day I'd hire you, Mike? My people man.
When I'm ready.
Nope, I'd hire you the day before you go on vacation. Oh shit, oh. You know why I'd hire you the day before you go on vacation? Because you're out of time. And when you're out of time, you get prioritized, you get your work done. I got to do this first, Austin, this second, this third. Oh, you like that, Mike? I'm looking at you. You like that. Here's what I've learned. I'll hire you the day before you go on vacation, and maybe even the day you come back from vacation, because you're rested and you're focused. I'm focused before I leave, and when I get back, I'm like, okay, now it's time to get it. I sat on the beach for a week. I drank Mai Tais with my wife. Now I'm ready to crush it. Ooh, this sounds good. Like you guys are resonating with me now. So if that is true, could this be true too? Ammon, go back to that calendar. Let me show them once more. If I take that same philosophy and I gave you a week off 1 time a month, let's look at November for an example. It's the week of Thanksgiving. You guys are already not doing anything anyways, right? Like let's be real. Friday you're taking off, Thursday you're taking off, Wednesday you're taking off. So really you might try to work Monday and Tuesday. Okay, you just get those days, but here's what I expect. I expect Monday through Thursday, the 3 weeks before that, Monday through Thursday, that you do your lead generation. Monday through Thursday, I expect you do your lead generation. And if you do that, I'll give you Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and that entire week. You can go do whatever you want. Now, to be clear, you sell real estate, so the phone doesn't always stop ringing. I get it. What I'm asking for is Monday through Thursday, that you stay focused and you do what I'm telling you. And if you do this, I know we'll crush it. Ammon, you can take that down. Thank you, sir. So here's what I know. 2026, proactive working days. 2026, proactive working days. 12 months a year is how many months you're going to live. Okay, so I want you working 12 months a year. I'm not asking you to take an entire month off. I want you working 12 months a year. I want you working 3 weeks a month. Now, are you going to work the other weeks? Yes, this is lead generation and it's proactive. And then I want you working 4 days a week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Why? Because do you really want to do this stuff on a Friday? Let's be real. Like, do you really want to do it on a Friday? You'll do it on a Friday, sure. But do you want to? In your ideal world, is Friday the day that you stack up with all of you? No, right? No. If I have to, I will. And here's what I tell you. I can tell you this. When you figure out your actual lead generation, you give yourself permission to take that day and do whatever you want. You know what I do on Fridays? I go to the gym, I sit in my cold plunge, I write my books, whatever I want to do, because I earned that right. And by the way, if you think like, oh, this isn't enough time to work, Austin, my stats kill the world stats. It's not even close. Like, that's how good this is. It's not even close. So this equals 144 days a year, proactive working days. If you ran this calendar and did this work, I can show you what it looks like. Now let's go to the math now. If you wanted to make $100,000 and you wanted to be in 80% control of it, that means you need to make $80,000 from your mouth proactively within your control. Okay, that's your goal. The other 20,000 will come when you're in the grocery store with the shopping cart. That when you sit in the open house and someone randomly comes in, right? It happens. Life rewards you for your activity. $80,000 I got to make with my mouth doing what I need to do. $80,000 divided by $8,000 commission checks means I need 10 closings from my efforts. I need 10 closings from my efforts. That's what 2026 is, 10 closings. Now, if I need 10 closings, Okay. And it takes me 3 referrals to get 1 closing. Takes me 3 referrals to get 1 closing, means I need 30 referrals this year. I have to generate 30 referrals for me to make $80,000. Stay with me here, everybody. I have to generate 30 referrals to make 80,000. Now, is there a chance that you generate 30 referrals and make 180,000? Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, math 2, the second part here. If I need 30 referrals this year, if I need 30 referrals, and I know it takes me 20 conversations to get 1, that means this year I need 600 business conversations, voice to voice, face to face, voice to voice, face to face, 600 business conversations this year. If I need 600 and I am proactively working 144 days, proactively, it's scheduled, I know what I'm doing, I have my time blocks, then that means I need 4 proactive conversations a day, and I need 16 a week. Do you see how we break this down to say, Mike, 4 a day? That's your goal. How'd you do yesterday? How'd you do the day before that? If you missed a day, then we got to stack it the next day. And if I missed 4 yesterday, that means I got 8 tomorrow. We break this down simply so you know what you have to do daily for you to achieve your goals. My job as the leader is to help you establish the vision and show you what your path looks like. That's my job. Your job's to do it because it's your life. It's not my life. It's your life. So now we got the vision and we know what we have to do. Now let's talk about the next parts here. You guys liking this so far? Is this good? Let me take a quick drink here. This gets me all excited. I'm not supposed to be this riled up on a Friday. I just came down all being riled up on a Thursday. Elizabeth's got me all riled up on Fridays now, too. I'm going to go home. My wife's going to be like, you're really riled up. I go, it's Elizabeth. Who's Elizabeth? Remember the shoe? Oh, Elizabeth. Okay, yeah. Okay. Remember, part 2's next week. If you show up this week and you miss next week, you missed the formula. You got to show up next week. Okay, now we're going to go to this. Now that I got a vision and now that I know my numbers, there's 2 public enemies. When I train lead generations to companies, teams, people, I found there's 2 common enemies to lead generation. Show me in the chat if you can guess what one or both of them are. The 2 biggest public enemies to lead generation is this and this. What are they? Because if I can identify them, then I can isolate them and I can make sure they're not my issues. Fear of rejection, okay, that's there. It's actually not 1 or 2. Okay, we got time blocking. We got 2 time blockings. We got fear. I'll talk about fear here in a little bit, actually. So we got time blocking. That's 1. One of them's time blocking. What's number 2? Brian, accountability is a sub piece of it. It's a very, very important piece. I am exhausted. I don't know. I don't know if you're exhausted from the training or from the lead generation. Perfection over analyzing. Let me tell you the second thing that I found. Number 1's time blocking. If I don't have the time blocked, it doesn't happen. Right? If I don't have the time, it just doesn't happen. The second thing is I don't know who to call, Austin. Those are my biggest 2. How do I get the time in my calendar and who the heck do I call? And then normally after that, then I need accountability. Then I work through all my mental states, the fear, the anxiety, like all that then happens. But if you don't have the time blocked in your calendar and you don't know who you're going to call, good luck. Good luck. If I said, hey, you need to make 4 calls a day for this entire year, and we get to December 31st, and you said, Austin, I don't have anything time blocked in my calendar, what % chance do you think that you're going to do it? Show me in the chat. What do you think your guess is? If we got to December 31st, and I pulled James aside, and I said, James, how'd you do? We established you need 4 calls a day, James. James, how'd you do? Did you have your time blocked? He goes, I didn't have any time blocked. I just winged it. What's the chances, Jam? I didn't look at the chat when I was talking. Okay. The only non-zero answer we have is a range from 0 to 10%. I'll count that as a 0. Somebody's positive here at least. Okay, so if we all agree it's 0%, that you have no chance of hitting your goal if you don't have your lead gen time blocked, then let me ask you the question, why don't you have lead gen in your schedule now? All right, it's okay. After today, we'll get it. And then the next question is well, Austin, how much time do I need? When I built the Cheviron group, I got hundreds of people calling me. Can you tell me what you're doing? How are you doing this? How are you doing this? I'm like, we're just doing it. How are you doing it? Here's what I'll tell you. Monday through Thursday, 8 to 10 o'clock in the mornings, Monday through Thursdays, we work together as a team. We ran as a pack. At 8 a.m., yes, I got them up and moving at 8 a.m. because the world's quiet from 8 to 9. At 9, it starts getting loud, it gets noisy, and it gets tougher. And if you try to put your lead gen in the afternoon, all the urgency, everything goes down. You got to do it in the morning. So from 8 to 10, here's what we did. From 8 to 8:30, we wrote 3 handwritten notes of gratitude. For my northerners here, it's like starting your car up in the winter. You get it warmed up. For my southerners, it's probably like turning on your AC in the summer before you get in it. I can only imagine. We don't have that problem in northern Indiana. So you got to start your car, because if you don't start your car and get it moving, then what happens is the fear and anxiety and all the lack, all that stuff happens. So we got to start our car. So from 8 to 8:30, we wrote 3 handwritten notes to people. People we just listed their house, people we put under contract, my grandma, her bridge partner, referrals, everybody. That's what we did. And there's nothing but gratitude when you do that. So now that I've started the car and we've got it warmed up, then from 8:30 to 9, what we did is 3 follow-up calls. Hey, Michelle, you said you were going to look to sell a house in the spring of 2026. I just want to see, is that still something you'd like to do? Well, Austin, I really think we might do it in Q4 this year. Okay, great, Michelle. Let me ask you, as you're going through this process, if you run into anybody else that's looking to sell their house or buy a house, would you keep me in mind and refer me that person? Absolutely, Austin. Check, there's one. Catch up, follow up with them, ask for a referral. So that was from 8:30 to 9. I bet if I did an audit on this group, I don't know how many people are in this call. How many people are in this call, actually? And somebody put in the chat. I can't see it.
72 right now.
72 people. I bet if I did an audit of this entire, everybody here, 72 people, on average, you probably have 4, I'm going to actually say the exact number. I bet there's $65,000 a person in commissions waiting to be followed up with. 65,000 a person times 72 is 4 point some million dollars. There's 4 point some million dollars in follow-up right here. And you guys are starving looking for your next deal. You're like, I don't know who to call. Call the person that said they were going to list in the spring with you last year. Call them. Please, God, somebody call them. From 8:30 to 9, 3 follow-up calls. These people already know who you are. They like you. They just haven't done business with you. So first thing is get the engine going, gratitude with the notes. Then we're calling the easy ones. And then from 9 to 10, we're calling the hard ones. These are people from our database, people that we've served, people that we like, our family, our friends, our coworkers, people that have bought and sold, and we're catching up with them. 4 calls from 9 to 10, 4 conversations. Yeah, that's our goal. So if you're going to have 4, just let me give you, for those of you who aren't great at math, let me tell you how that works. 4 in an hour means 15 minutes max a call. So you can't talk to your mom for an hour and be like, well, I can't do it, Austin. I only got 1 in an hour. Yeah, because these are business calls, not personal. A professional gets in and out of a conversation. So you want to be able to have a conversation in about 10 to 12 minutes. Okay, that's how we did it. There's our magic formula. We told the whole world how we did it. They're like, I don't know if that works. No, it works. The problem is you got to be consistent with it. The problem is you got to take a rest week. The problem with it is you got to run when it's time to run. It's a magic formula. Okay, I got two more parts today. I got who to call and what to say, but we're at the hour here. So I'm going to save that for next week. Let me do this. I got 2 minutes for questions. I never have 2 minutes for questions. Show me in the chat, raise your hand. Let me see if you got any questions. Thank you, Renee. Good to see you, my friend. Any questions? Who's got what?
Yeah, I do got a question, but I have to go on audio. Sorry about that.
You're good, buddy.
Yeah, so there's been, I guess, mixed I guess signals or mixed messages about when to call. Some people say call in the evening because it's better contact because I guess the people are home. But I do agree with you. When I was doing calls in the morning time, I felt that I was just more rocking that way because I'm more disciplined to do it because that's when I'm at my peak than doing it in the evening. So thank you for sharing that, for clarifying that for me.
Thank you, Matt. Master brings up a great point, everybody. Hold in here. This is key for consistency. Master, thank you for saying that. A lot of people say, well, Austin, my better ratio that they'll answer is in the evening. What I work through them with, the problem is I can't build my business working around when I think other people might answer. What type of business model is that? Well, I think they might answer later, so then I'm going to try to do it later. It has to be the morning. It has to be for 1,000 reasons. Now, will they answer your calls in the morning? Maybe not. Maybe they call you back in the afternoon then. All good. And when some of you start this, I've worked with a lot of my clients through this. When they start, they say, Austin, no one answered my call. And I'm going to tell you guys something you don't want to hear now. I appreciate you enough to tell you. I wouldn't answer your call either if you didn't provide me any value over the past. Right? So now you're calling, now you start your schedule and they're like, Austin, they're not answering. Yeah, because you haven't provided them any service in the past. And when they see your name come up, you're just taking from them, you're not giving. Right? It's okay. We can change that in time, but the reality is that if somebody calls me that I don't know and I see Elizabeth's name, I'm going to answer Elizabeth's because there's a positive relationship there. It's not negative, it's not even neutral. It's a positive relationship. But when someone calls me who I don't know, or when someone calls me who I know is going to try to sell me something, that might even be a negative, and then I don't answer the phone call. Okay? We got to build our businesses around when we can be consistent, not around the general public. I'm sorry. We got to be around us and our vision and what we need, and then we modify and adapt to the public. But we can't say, well, more than likely people are getting off of work at night, so then I'm going to call at night. It's not going to work. We're going to be back to that 0% chance of it happening, right? So these are things we have to work through. I would tell you right now, you can make about 4 conversations in an hour. So if your goal is 8, you need 2 hours a day blocked. If your goal is 4, you need 1. If it's 6, you need an hour and a half. So you now have to match your time block with the time that you need to achieve your goals. And just to be clear, I'll give you a pro tip. It's important to get ahead in the week because I never get to a Thursday and have all of this abundance happen. Normally what happens is I get sick, I got to take my kids somewhere, I got 4 closings. A lot of times the lead generation gets sucked out of your day, not added to it. So if your goal is 4 a day, you might want to try to hit 5 and give yourself some space. Fair? I don't know about you, but I got a 15-year-old and a 13-year-old. They suck my time. Just literally what I thought I had time for, it's gone. We were in Atlanta. If anybody follows me, we were in Atlanta for a cheer comp last week. My God, I had no time to do anything. My daughter was sick. We drove there. It was 10 hours both ways. It was a disaster. I'm happy for it, but it was a disaster. I have to plan for that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, because life's going to happen. Okay, everybody? So we will see you next week, same time. I'm going to finish up on who to call. Ooh, this was great. What to say to them when you call them, and then I'm going to show you how to keep your money. Very valuable. So I'll see everybody here next week. Thank you, everybody, for allowing me to impact today. Thank you.
Austin, you're amazing, my friend. Guys, this is great stuff. Take it into your next week. We'll see you next Friday. And Austin, thank you, friend. Bye, guys. Have a great weekend.